Another organization that does wonderful work around the world, UNHCR, and we're chatting to Brother Omar Elnaiem, who some may mistake as a basketball player, but he does greater work around the world as well. Brother Omar, if you would like to join me. Assalamu alaikum, are you well?
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having us. How are you?
My absolute pleasure. We all know about some of the work UNHCR does, locally and globally as well. But more importantly, some of the work that's happening in Sudan right now that needs to be highlighted. Tell our audience a bit more about some of your efforts in Sudan.
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation and for Ashraful for hosting this event where a lot of like-minded organizations will come together to discuss some of the world's largest humanitarian crisis. I'm from Sudan, so for me this is personal. I don't want to call Sudan an unforgetting or a forgotten crisis, but that's the reality of it. Since the war erupted in Sudan last April, more than 25 million people, that's half the population of Sudan, is cut from humanitarian aid. More than 10 million people have been displaced, including members of my own family. Unfortunately, there's so much going on in the world right now that we compete for clicks and for news and for attention. But I think the story of Sudan and the Sudanese people is also a story of hope and a story of resilience. And I really look forward to conversations in this day to see how we can all support and help and do our part.
Yeah, I think, if it's not reported in the media, unfortunately, the world seems to be neglectful about what's happening in Sudan as well. Are you hoping to highlight some of those challenges here today at the summit?
Absolutely, and I think my main message is to remind people and to remind the viewers and everybody who's here today is that behind the numbers there are people. When I say 25 million people, that's a scary number, and that's automatically make us sort of like feel hopeless in terms of what can we do. But no, today I will talk about the individuals that I've met. I've been to Sudan 3 times since the crisis have erupted. So today I will tell their stories, and I hope from the outcome of today's summit, more support can be directed to the people of Sudan from South Africa.
All the very best. We're looking forward to hearing, and also so that we can carry that message on to the rest of the world as well. Are there other immediate projects in South Africa or in other parts of Africa that UNHCR is busy with?
So basically we cover, unfortunately, all the displacement crises in Africa, and Africa is the continent that has suffered a lot from conflict that resulted directly in displacement. We will touch base on some projects that our colleagues UNHCR in South Africa are working on, but for me is to make the world realize that Africa is in need of, we need Africans to speak for Africans, we need the continent to stand with the continent.
Brother, Jazakallah so much for being here. All the very best with things back home in Sudan, and you are in our du'as, inshallah.
Shukran lak, Allah khalik. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's Brother Omar from UNHCR highlighting the crisis in Sudan. As we know, it's 25 million people that are displaced and affected by what's happening there as well.